hailed from a marauding bunch of chrome-plated cockroaches, and we get stopped by the elevator in our own headquarters. God help us if the tabloids ever get a hold of this. Hank McCoy was hanging upside down by his feet from the lighting fixture in the ceiling of the elevator. Under normal circumstances, a situation that would undoubtedly prove alarming to his fellow passengers. However, the other 6 individuals crowding the confines of the stalled lift were themselves far from the norm. For along with the dangling Mr. McCoy, they constituted the world's greatest fighting team, the Avengers. And the Avengers had long since grown used to the idiosyncrasies of their fellow comrades-at-arms. Case in point, no one ever questioned the fact that Hank McCoy seemed more comfortable hanging from chandeliers than sitting on chaise lounges, that he eschewed taxi rides in favor of swinging, ape-like, from street lamp to street lamp over chronically snarled city traffic. Of course, the elementary observation that the gentleman's entire body was covered with silky dark blue fur, and that his appearance, mannerisms, and reflexes were more simian than human, helped that acceptance considerably. In fact, for many it was far easier to accept Hank McCoy as what he was now than as what he had once been, a brilliant, world-renowned scientist who, caught in a freak laboratory accident, had mutated into the nimble, wisecracking hero known to the general populace as simply the Beast. On the floor below, a tall, crimson-skinned Avenger turned to address the Beast, moving with a precision more machine-like than human. For, indeed, as a synthezoid construct, the Vision possessed characteristics of both. Many considered that a most unsettling combination. "Actually, Beast," began the Vision with electronic tones as cold and hard as the ice on the streets outside, "the Darwinians were structured more along the lines of the phylum Formicadae, and their protective coating analyzed as a polymolybdenum compound rather than common chrome." Sheesh, I try to cheer everyone up with my endearing boyish wit, and the only response I get is Mr. Wizard here with an etymology lesson. "Hey, Iron Man, when are you going to get us out of here? I don't think my fragile ego can take much more." Crouched in one corner of the elevator, in front of the exposed circuitry of a recently opened control panel, the armor-clad leader of the Avengers glanced up. "Shouldn't be long now, Beast. I've traced the problem to a shorted-out wire, and I'll have it all patched up in a jiffy." Turning back to the exposed wiring, Iron Man sent a mental command through one of the cybernetic electrodes touching his skull inside his helmet. Instantly, literally, with the speed of thought, the command flashed through his sophisticated metal mesh armor, causing a tiny aperture at the end of one crimson gauntleted finger to iris open. Then, responding to a second unspoken command, a needle-thin beam of coherent light shot from the finger receptacle, focusing on a pair of insulation-trimmed wires inside the control panel. "Got to be careful," thought Iron Man. "If I don't keep the laser's intensity within very fine tolerances, I could burn a hole clear through the entire control mechanism." Behind Iron Man, 5 Avengers watched patiently. The Beast, swinging casually to and fro, the Vision, whose pupilless black eyes showed signs of neither life nor death, Captain America, the resurrected red, white, and blue warrior of World War II, Wanda Frank, the beautiful and aloof European woman called the Scarlet Witch, and Thor, the massively built blonde-tressed hammer-bearer who no one dared dispute as being the living Norse god of thunder. However, one less stolid Avenger also watched, a silver-haired, silver-garbed mutant known for his speed as well as his appearance as Quicksilver. Born Pietro Frank, he was brother to the Scarlet Witch, and, though he shared much of his sister's pride and noble bearing, he had allowed her the bulk of the family forbearance. Now, as was too frequently the case, his patience was fast running out. Come, Iron Man. We've better things to do than stand around in this sweaty chamber all day. Why don't you just use your repulsor rays and blast us an entrance to the floor below?" "Somehow, Pietro," answered Iron Man, "I don't think Mr. Stark would appreciate